For more on the Greece debt crisis and where the country goes from here, I spoke with Tom Ellis. He's a senior editor of a Greek newspaper, and he also writes extensively on politics and economics. A recent study found Greek suicide rates have spiked as the debt crisis deepened. Tom elaborated on other issues the general public is facing there.
Well, to put it, simply or bluntly, we have a 25% cut in the GDP, or even, let's say, the per capita income, which is unprecedented for a democracy in a peacetime. That reminds us what happened in 1929 in the US, to make a comparison for people who remember or have read about that period. So you can understand if somebody, instead of increases, has a yearly cut in his or her salary, it makes it very difficult. The rents and the food and whatever you have to pay, most of them, not all, but most of these expenses remain the same. So every year, a lot of people, the average guy on the street, has to manage with maybe 5 or 6 or 7% less. Now we have, as you mentioned, suicides, but fortunately this is a rare exception. But the daily life is much worse than it used to be. And if I may add, even friends sitting around talking, me, myself, with my friends, the main thing we discuss week after week, month after month, is this dark side of where are we moving at? Will I have a job tomorrow? Will I manage? Will my parents be able to do this or that? So that takes a toll. Most of Greeks, around 75–80%, that's what all the polls show, want to remain part of the Eurozone and the European Union. They feel European, historically speaking, culturally speaking. Of course, they're maybe at the heart of Europe and democracy, being the oldest democracy in the world. But given the harsh economic measures, a lot of them are thinking, having second thoughts. Maybe this is not the Europe we imagined. But for the time being, it's clear that most of them want to be in the Eurozone, even if that means cuts in salaries or even in the pension system. The other thing that comes up is the extreme right, which has manifested itself during these last few years, where because of the unemployment, because of what's happening, you have an increasing number of people belonging to a certain far-right party that is against Europe, and it's also bordering, I would say, not only nationalist but neo-fascist or neo-Nazi approaches.